What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another Whiskey Wednesday, number 7. We're all the way up to number 7. We're almost double digits now. Today we have something really special. We've been doing these big whiskeys from big companies. Last week we did MGP, which is a massive company. We've done Brown-Forman products, big companies. Today we're going to focus on some of the little guys. And I mean, this is a company, Jeptha Creed. This is their 4-grain bourbon. I just met their sales representative that does all of the market for Kentucky and Tennessee. He just came into my bar the other day. I had kind of somewhat heard of their product, but not really. I was aware that it was a thing, but past that, knew nothing about them, had never tasted their product. I'm not even sure if I've seen it on a shelf, and if I have, it's just something that I've kind of passed by. I'm not huge into craft whiskey, but I was really excited about trying this whenever I met him. I got into it, and I really liked it. And luckily, he gave us some samples. I figured I'd take one home and review it for you guys here on the show. They grow all of their own grains there on property. He said they have 2,000 acres, that's a lot of land. And they're only using 1,400 of the acres. They have 600 acres. They're just it's just kind of whatever. And they're using heirloom corn, which is super exciting. I mean, almost everybody in bourbon and in rye uses, a lot of these companies are using the same products. A lot of people are using the same yellow corn or white corn or whatever. This is an heirloom corn species. This is Bloody Butcher corn. It's 70% Bloody Butcher corn, and it is 30% malted grains. And with it being a 4-grain bourbon, they're using malted rye, malted barley, and malted wheat, which is super exciting. You don't see a lot of 4 grains to begin with, let alone ones with this much malted grain. And I think that really helps the bourbon a lot on the fact that it's only aged about 2.5 years. So with the traditional process, you're looking at about 4 for anything really to be good. This at 2.5, I was really surprised when he said only 2.5, and it does have some notes on it. It's kind of got some barnyard dirt, and you do get some of that grain. But to me, the grain almost smells. I mean, you really get those malted notes from the malted wheat, the malted barley, and it's not cheap to do it this way. So kudos to them for making a great product. Some of these, some of the bourbon that they do have in here too, fun to note, are coming out of 15-gallon barrels instead of full-size barrels, because that's how they started, and they're phasing that out of production. But as of the moment, that's what they're working with, some of that, but they're also working with full-size barrels. So the blending process comes from both. Some people think that if you put those smaller barrels in there, you get a quicker maturation process. People also argue that's not the case. Fun fact. Let's get nerdy. Let's smell and taste and drink some whiskey, right? Man. So to start, the nose does have kind of some grainy notes to it, but there's also there's this sweetness there, and it doesn't smell like your typical white corn bourbon, your typical run-of-the-mill product. It definitely has almost a dusty funk on the nose that I find really inviting and exciting, similar to how our Blanton's was a couple weeks ago. But it's definitely unique, and it has more of a almost a terroir, like you would get in Scotch, where you start to smell kind of the earth in there, which I find really awesome. Once it hits the palate, you do get a really nice sweet note on the front, kind of some caramel. And that kind of works its way back into almost this bitterness right in the middle of the tongue that finishes out with with a little bit of grain and a little bit of grit. And the bitterness kind of works its way through the finish. It's about 98 proof, so you're not getting a huge Kentucky hug out of this, which is great considering the 2.5-year age statement. And honestly, the color on it too, you wouldn't think that this was an immature product at all. And I'm super excited for when they get a little bit further down the line and they have like 4-year product and 5-year product. You guys know how I feel about New Riff and their products at 4 years and how excited I am looking at their products in the future. I feel the same way for Jeptha Creed. They've got some other products as well. This is the only whiskey that they're making at the moment that I'm aware of. But man, it's great. For $50 for a craft whiskey, I feel like there's so many people out there making craft whiskey at $50 a bottle that is just undrinkable. It is absolutely like, you've got to either use it in a pan sauce or pour it down the drain. And this is so far from being that at 2.5 years. I think that people, all kinds of craft distillers over America could really learn a lot from Jeptha Creed. I do have the invitation to go up there and see their products and potentially the cooperage that they utilize there, which is, fun fact, the same cooperage that Michter's uses. Just a small, like, everything made by hand cooperage. So I'm excited to potentially get to do that. That being said, guys, go pick up a bottle of this. I totally recommend it at like around $50. Gosh, I mean, there's plenty of things out there at $50 that is just as good, if not better. But this is a really awesome product. They seem to be really great people. Huh?
Would you use it in a cocktail?
I don't know if I would or not. It's in terms of using it for a cocktail. It's unique. I think that there's space out there for it. But just like it is an outside of the box whiskey, you're gonna need kind of an outside of the box cocktail. I don't think this is an end all be all, throw it in an old fashioned or a Manhattan kind of drink. Like, I think you would use this in a specialized kind of way for a cocktail menu that you want to highlight something out of those malted grains, because they are prevalent in the bourbon, and I'm really excited to see how this company grows. So guys, if you're out there, drink up, cheers, subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends about us.